Okay. So today, together we shall all study and understand the 10 offenses while chanting the holy name, which a Vaishnava should guard if he or she wishes to advance in Krishna consciousness. We will directly go to the topic for today and try to list down and understand the 10 offenses. Before that, we will understand why the offenses are listed, why we should guard against them, what happens to our devotional service and chanting if we commit these offenses. So there is reference given for guarding against these offenses. Srila Prabhupada, as usual, gives evidence of Shastra for everything, and here also he does the same, which is the best part of his preaching. All those who are in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and who are at various stages, I'm sure they would have a basic question of what is the requirement for one to advance in devotional service. Is it following the rules, the regulations, etiquette? Is it culture or the methodology or a combination of all the above mentioned traits? Is merely following these traits sufficient to reach the Lord and attain the goal? The answer is a big no. So that brings us to the very important question. What is that one main secret ingredient necessary for one to advance in devotional service? Yes, the answer is chanting of the holy name, which happens only with the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So will just chanting of the holy name, here the Maha Mantra, help? Again, the answer is no. Srila Prabhupada mentions that offenseless chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will only produce the desired results. We shall now refer to some Shastric evidence for this topic. A lot of emphasis here has been given to chanting offenselessly. So if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 7.73, it mentions that when one chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one can realize a transcendental position that is completely aloof from the material conception of life. This is mentioned in Adi Lila 7.73, as I said earlier. Also, as for being freed from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of Krishna only once, one must chant the holy name without committing any offense. So the emphasis is, even if you want to chant even once the holy name of Krishna, it has to be done without any offense, without committing any offense. This is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 15.107. You can see that emphasis is given more to chanting offenseless. Why and how is taken up in the coming slides. We'll discuss that in coming slides, why and how. When the holy name is properly served in this way, automatically the spiritual nature of the holy name spreads. In other words, the devotee becomes qualified in offenselessly chanting the holy name. This is taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 7.83. We'll try to learn what happens if one is infested with 10 offenses in chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If one is infested with the offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 8.16. On the other hand, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, there are these 2 points will clearly state what happens if one is chanting this holy name with offenses. So then next we'll come to what happens if a pure devotee chants offenselessly. What are the benefits of chanting offenselessly? That's without any offense. When a pure devotee chants offenselessly, another person becomes a Vaishnava, and from him another Vaishnava will emerge. This is a parampara system which is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 17.48 and 49th verse. That is the beauty of chanting offenselessly. Not only the devotees who is chanting, but another person will also become a Vaishnava. If one chants the holy name even once without committing an offense, he attains all success, which is taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 15.108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108. 108 Even once if somebody takes to chanting this holy name without any offense, he attains all success rather than chanting with offense any number of times. This is what is mentioned in this in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita 15.108. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 3.61, from where this verse is taken, Namacharya Haridas Thakura says, Nama Bhasa Haite Haya Sarva Papa Kshaya. So he says, if one offenselessly utters the holy name, even imperfectly, one can be freed from all the results of sinful life. The stress here is on uttering them offenselessly. So this is what Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-Leela 3.61 states. Coming to Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-Leela 3.178 verse, Haridas Thakur again continues, Haridasa kahe na namera e doi phala naya, namera phala Krishna, pade prema upajaya. So now Haridas Thakur says, actually by chanting the holy name without offense, one awakens his ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is what benefit one gains by chanting without any offense the holy name of the Lord. He gets the love of lotus feet of Krishna. The translation of 3.181 of Antya Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita says, as the rising sun immediately dissipates all the world's darkness, which is deep like an ocean, so the holy name of the Lord, if chanted once without offenses, dissipates all the reactions of a beautiful, of a living being's sinful life. All glories to that holy name of the Lord, which is auspicious for the entire world. We go to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 8.24, which says Krishna Nama Kare Aparadhera Vichara, Krishna Balile Aparadhera Na Haya Vikara. These are offenses to be considered. There are offenses to be considered while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna, one does not become ecstatic. One may then ask how to chant offenselessly. That may be the question that everybody asks. So the answer is that we should pray to the Lord begging for his mercy, because we are not even qualified to offer service to the Lord, to utter the holy name, read the scriptures, this is all his and Vaishnava mercy. So only through mercy can one take us back home, back to Godhead. So we should all strive to look for mercy of the Vaishnava and therefore the Supreme Lord. There are some stages of prayers which are called technicalities of prayers, how to offer the prayers. So when somebody offers prayers very feelingly, offering prayers very feelingly and with a lot of love, it falls under Samprarthatmika stage of prayer. If someone humbly submits himself and offers prayers, it falls under Dainya Bhaudika. If someone is desiring some perfectional stage, it's called Lalasa Mai. The Lalasa Mai stage of submission comes in the stage of perfect liberation, which is technically called Swarupa Leela. Swarupa Siddhi, sorry. When the living entity understands by perfect spiritual advancement and revelation his original relationship with the Lord. We shall briefly touch upon some topics of how to pray. There are 4 limbs of prayers. First is glorifying the Lord, expressing gratitude to the Lord, seeking his forgiveness, praying that please engage me in your prayer devotion service always. That is most important. Asking him to engage me in his prayer devotion service always. So we should all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now we come to the core topic of today. Having understood why we should chant offenselessly, what happens when we chant offenselessly, and what happens if we chant with offense. We shall go through the 10 offenses to the holy name. This is authored by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. So in the temple, in every temple in the morning, Towards the end of the Mangalarti, these 10 offenses are recited in the temple. So this is what is asked primarily in the initiation exams. Almost everybody who has taken initiation exam for the first initiation, they always ask this. So we'll go through one by one of this. The first offense listed is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Blaspheming can be done by words, mind, and body. Some of the blaspheming which is used by words is using harsh language or words for a devotee falls under this. The Padma Purana states that Satam Ninda Namaha Paramam Aparadham Vitanute, which means to blaspheme the great saintly persons who are engaged in preaching the glories of the Hare Krishna mantra is the worst offense at the lotus feet of the holy name. If one does so, he is a great offender. We should never blaspheme a saintly preacher who is preaching the glories of the holy name, because it's the worst offense anybody can do. The second offense listed is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. All Vedic literatures that agree that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. So it is an offense to equate all demigods with the Lord Vishnu. Therefore, this is an offense which has to be avoided. Third offense listed is the orders of the spiritual master. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is considered like God, and we all have to honor him as much as God, even though the spiritual master does not consider himself to be God. Therefore, any orders or instructions the spiritual master gives us, we have to obey them and carry out the orders obediently and humbly. Therefore, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master is a great offense, which has to be avoided. The fourth offense listed is to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, it states that Vedescha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krit ved eva chaham. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. And he also said that I am comparer of the Vedanta, and I am knower of the Vedas. He also says that the Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead. The Vedas are compiled by his incarnation as Vyasadeva, and who has compiled the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. And he is the giver of knowledge in the form of the Vedas. So, to blaspheme the Vedas is a great offense. So, we can find that in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. The fifth offense listed is to consider the glories of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra to be imagination. I think this can happen if one does not have full faith in the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So, if one has full faith, he does not imagine the glories to be an imagination. The sixth offense is to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. I think this is self-explanatory. We should not give any mundane interpretation to the holy name of the Lord, other than it's been transcendental. The seventh offense listed is to commit some sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. One must guard minutely for this offense, because chanting the holy name of Hare Krishna does not give one the freedom to commit sin of any kind, thinking that it will nullify with the chanting of the holy name. So we should not commit any sin, assuming that it will get nullified because I'm chanting the holy name. So it doesn't absolve anybody of the sin that is committed by doing any papa karma. The eighth offense listed is to consider chanting of the Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, that is karma kanda. Here the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is transcendental and should not be equated with the ritualistic Vedic sacrifices. Therefore, one should not consider chanting the Hare Krishna to be same as the ritualistic sacrificial activities, which is an offense. So we should not consider chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. So we should guard against this. The ninth is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. So I checked up this in the Bhagavad Gita 18.67 verse. The Lord says, the confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere, who are not devoted, or who don't engage in devotional service, and also not to one who is envious of Lord Krishna. So we should never explain this the glories of the name to a faithless person. It's also a waste of time because they will never understand. We'll never be able to explain to them. The 10th and the last offense listed is to not have complete faith the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, that is Krishna Prema. Let us offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desired trees, who can fulfill all desires and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatirubhrashta, kripa sindhu vayevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vindhi Jai, Srila Prabhupada Jai. So I urge all of you to chant offenselessly the Maha Mantra and take benefit and advance in Krishna consciousness. Actually, you don't need to know all the verses which I explained to you to give the references. You just need to memorize these 10 references as they are, because this is asked in the initiation interview. So if you've got any questions or you want to ask anything, any doubts, please ask. It's a very small chapter, because other than the offense part which is listed in the order, you need to behead them in the same order, because if you mention any other way or dilute, it may get diluted. What has been told in the offenses may get diluted. So I would urge you to really behead the way it is mentioned, because that gives a correct meaning to the offenses. So if you attend the morning class on a daily basis, it will be easy for you to remember them and behead them. Anybody's got any questions or you want to ask any doubts, are most welcome to ask. I think. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, you're audible.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have one question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, this to blasphemy the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. So, does it mean all devotees or spiritual masters, our spiritual masters?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. So this question was asked to our Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj incidentally is in Bombay and is at Juhu temple. We have been very fortunate and blessed to have his to be associated with him for the last 10-15 days. He's here. So somebody asked this question to him. Actually, ideally it means to the Vaishnava devotees, but we should always guard against doing it to any of the devotees, because we never know when these non-devotees also become devotees. So to avoid, and because we'll never come to know who is a pure devotee, who is not, we should avoid doing it to any of the devotees.
Very well, Prabhuji.
Do you all know the Guru Maharaj Pranam mantra? It's been taught to you. Are you doing?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we know about it.
Yeah, so what you should know the Pranam mantra. You should know its meaning also. They also ask the meaning sometimes in the initiation interview, including Prabhupada's Pranam mantra and its meaning, as well as Guru Maharaj's Pranam mantra and its meaning. Yeah, there is a question on the chat box which says offenses by mind. Offenses by even in your thoughts, you should not blaspheme anybody or cause any offense to anybody. That's what it means. So we should guard against trying to be offense to create offense against people who are in the mind also, because even that is considered to be a offense. Did you get that, Mataji? Dipti Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Prabhuji, same thing. I wanted to ask about the first one, first offense that we're not supposed to commit. See, it is said that we have to be submissive while asking questions of the person sitting on the Vyasasana. But suppose, they are saying something wrong, which is against the principles of, the purpose.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we be submissive, like without offending them? Like without blaspheming that devotee, how can we ask them a question? Like say they said something that you think is wrong, then how can we ask the question by being submissive?
Yeah, I think these questions are good questions. What has happened is you can ask them humbly. You should ask questions to the senior devotees and to the gurus by submitting to them and asking them humbly without trying to dominate or trying to be rude about it. There's no harm asking questions. In fact, in all the classes that ISKCON takes, everybody's questions are welcome, and at the end of every lecture or every class that Guru Maharaj takes, he also asks for questions and he answers questions. So asking questions submissively and in humble way is always welcome. So there's no harm in asking questions as long as you follow these rules. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Hare Danda Pranam.
Prabhuji, in the eighth one, it is written that to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities. Like, what can you please tell with example the eighth one?
Yeah, okay, so the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is transcendental. So it is not as a material thing, it's a transcendental thing. Okay. And we should not be equated with the ritualistic Vedic sacrifices like the yajnas and all that. We should not be considered to be and equate to the ritualistic Vedic sacrifices. So one should guard against this by not chanting the Hare Krishna mantra as the same way and consider to be the same way the ritualistic sacrifices that is done, which is sometimes bordering on materialistic. So sometimes ritualistic activities are done to ask for something materialistic. Sometimes it's done to ask for some gain or for some rain or something like that. So this is not to be equated to that. That is why it is said you must guard against it because it's transcendental.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One more question I had, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Correct.
Prabhuji, how do we make a devotee then? Sometimes, a non-devotee, a person without faith also can, become Krishna conscious. Like personal example, Prabhuji, I was a part of the Communist Party in Kerala. And I was indulging in all the bad habits. I didn't have faith. I was an atheist. It was only because, I understood the glories of the holy name that I came to Krishna consciousness. Because it helped me stop all my bad habits. And it also helped me, understand and want to read more, and attain ruchi for, the Vedic scriptures. So how can we do this, Prabhuji, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name? Because I was instructed as a faithless person, but then I understood, the glories and I came into Krishna consciousness. So I just had that doubt, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's a good question, and congratulations on your change of habits and all that is very good. What happens is a faithless person generally my observation is that they keep on asking question after question and everything why they try to put put down the person who is teaching them or who is preaching them. So such people are called faithless person. You should let him be what he is, and if at all he is having anything, any devotion service or anything, any past life, or he has done something very good, he'll automatically come to the Krishna consciousness, or he'll have faith in the in Lord. But we should not keep on wasting our time trying to explain to a person who is simply asking for questions for sake of asking and trying to put us down or put the holy name down. Such people you should not instruct. So we can start instructing a person with by assuming that he is going to come to Krishna consciousness. In case he doesn't come and he's still trying to be adamant, then such people we should not instruct. That's what it means.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Whatever, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
To give some sixth number, Prabhuji, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Can you explain, Prabhuji?
Yeah, so people give all kinds of interpretation of the holy name of the Lord, comparing it with other mantras that is there in that they know of, which may not be effective of reaching or quickly reaching the God. So this is what people do. They say, okay, this is equal to that, so that is equal to this. That's kind of interpretation they give. That we should avoid. It is an offense. People quickly want to jump and say that no, I'm doing so and so mantra chanting, no, and they give equations saying that it's also mentioned there, it's also mentioned here, they're equal, and they give some interpretation trying to justify what they are doing. So such thing we should avoid. Any Prabhuji, I just want to add to whatever I said. Whenever I try to explain to my colleagues in office, they always try to say that no, this is not correct, and even though it's written in the Bhagavad Gita, they say no. All the gods are same and everything is same. It's mentioned here, it's mentioned there. That kind of things keep coming. So such faithless person, we should not keep on trying to waste our time behind them. That's what it means.
I understand it now, because I was, I still meet with my friends who are, not in Krishna consciousness, and they ask me, why I joined. And I try to explain to them, by saying that I come to understand, the meaning of the Vedic scriptures and what they're trying to teach us about the way of life, and how, we should try to, get back to Godhead rather than, be blasphemous about it. But every time, they say, but then, Shiva is there. You go to Ayyappa Kshetram every year. You go to Shabrimala. You go to church sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I still understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if I'm praying to them, I'm praying for getting more strength to be more Krishna conscious. But it's very hard to explain to some people, Prabhuji, because I come from Kerala, again, largely communist state, and I grew up amongst, one of the most affluent communist families also. So my family is Christian. I'm the only one who's following, Krishna consciousness. Most of my friends are Muslim. Mom and dad were in Saudi Arabia, so I grew up in a Muslim community also. And for me, coming into this, it was somehow, I don't know why Krishna gave me mercy for me to, come into Krishna consciousness. But once I came, right, I realized that it's not about just the chanting. It's about, listening and being attentive. Once you're totally attentive and, you understand you're doing this not for yourself, but for someone else, and for the love of that, personality, then everything becomes, natural and easy. So Haribol to NND Prabhuji and Srila Prabhupada, for NND Prabhuji for, allowing me to attend these classes and, grow in Krishna consciousness. And two, to Srila Prabhupada for making it really easy for someone like me.
Haribol, really Haribol.
Understand.
Two things come to my mind immediately while you were saying that. First is I got real goosebumps when you were saying this. But the association, you were mentioning about association. Last 10 days, as I told you, Guru Maharaj is here in the Jew temple, and simply by associating with him and all the other devotees who come there, it's a different feeling. It can't be put in words. It's that different. So even though we go and come back at 12 o'clock at night, we still, me and my wife, we drive down and go that far, only to be associated with him. And it's something very different, out of the world. It is can't be expressed or explained. And he, whatever condition he is in physically, he will take a class without fail. Even as late as his timing is 7:30. He generally comes at 8 o'clock. But once or twice he had some meeting to attend, so he was late. But he took a class as late as 8:45 in the night. 15-20 minutes he took a class. He said, I'll take a short class. I will not miss the class. Since you all have come, my apologies because I had to attend a meeting urgently, and it got extended by more than the allotted time. So he came, 15 minutes he gave a lecture, took some 3-4 questions, and then he went away. Gave us prasadam, he went away. So that's what he does. In spite of all, even in spite of all his challenges. And the second point that comes to mind when you told about what all you went through, Srila Prabhupada, when he went to US, in a foreign country, staying among drug addicts, who are, I know how they look because I've been to that place, and they're horrible, awful there. And to live with them, change them from make them hippies to happies. It's a great achievement. It's not a very small thing. Nobody on earth can do it. Only because he's a special person sent by God. I think he's able to do that. Otherwise not possible to do. If you're all interested, I can tell you one very useful anecdote of our Guru Maharaj. If you're interested, if I got that time, I can tell you. Are you interested?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari bol, Prabhuji.
So this was told to us by his very close confidant Mahavaradas, who was there, who had come with him to Mangalore when we were in Mangalore. Around 10-12 years back, Guru Maharaj was diagnosed with some bodily ailment, so for which he had to undergo operation. So it was told that some of his operation was a lengthy operation, so he had to undergo operation, and it was a very long operation. On the day of operation, also he was very cool, and he did not show any anxiety because of the status that he holds. So the operation went on for 12 hours, and because of the lengthy operation, he was kept, and because of the serious nature of the operation, he was kept in the ICU. So 3 days nobody was allowed to meet him. After the third day, his close people were allowed to meet him. He was trying to say something, and these people could not understand. And what had happened was there were 9 tubes all over his body, because the operation was a major operation. So 9 tubes were put all over his body. So everywhere there were tubes only. So he was trying to say something. His confident people, close people couldn't understand anything. So they bought a chart writing A, B, C, D up to Z, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So with his hand, he started showing some words. And when they put everything together, you know what came out of the sentence? Can anybody guess? He said, "You give Krishna prema to his nurse."
Wow. Wow.
A person who is got underwent 12 hours of operation with so much of tubes, and he cannot speak. He doesn't think of himself. He says, "You give Krishna Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to this nurse." So these people, they taught Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to that nurse, and she started chanting. So that's what the great souls are all about.
Hari bol, Prabhuji, Hari bol. It reminds me of the kind of personalities, even, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are, that without them, Prabhuji, none of us would be even eligible to, receive Krishna Prema. Without them teaching us and without them showing mercy towards us, I don't think any of us would be here today, Prabhuji.
Correct. So these are some of the elevated souls that we interact with. So for us to even think of them, is not, we are not in the condition even to think of what they do. So even in such pain and in so much of bodily challenges, they still want to give Krishna prema to all people around them.
Yeah, Prabhuji. For me personally, sorry, Prabhuji. For me personally, Prabhuji, my idea was I'll come for one session, I'll see what's going on, what it's about, and then I know myself, so I won't return. But that was 7 months ago, and I haven't missed a single session. Wherever I am, I find an ISKCON center, and I make sure I'm there for Sunday session, and receiving prasadam and listening to Harikatha, because it's beautiful, the way my life has changed really after joining uh, ISKCON and trying to become a devotee, because that is what it is, no, Prabhuji. Like, through the association of devotees, we also become devotees. And I am really happy to be in association with every devotee that I meet. And especially Prabhuji, the way you have been telling me very patiently and listening to me very patiently also, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hari Bol to you.
Hare Krishna. It's all part of my duty. I was just trying to give back in a small way what I have learned. So when we took our initiation, we had when we took Diksha, we didn't have this kind of classes. So I think the temple of Mangalore temple has evolved, and they understood that this kind of class will help with people, because it will at least give some kind of introduction to what you have to learn and what you need to know, which helps. I think is a very good initiative. We still have got some time before your initiation happens. So we can use this time to learn all these things. So you can prepare so much that when the questions are asked for 40, 35, 40 minutes, like they did for me, I was asked for 45 minutes, the questions. Same with my wife. So similarly, you can also answer this question. So it's better to prepare you for all this. Whatever is possible with a limited knowledge that we have, we're trying to give it to you. Because every time the senior devotees are not available to take these classes. So I really urge upon you to start learning, and whatever is required, what has been told for you to learn. Most important, the translations, that part will always take a little time. Otherwise, if you're attending the morning Mangalarti, you'll learn most of the things, most of the artis will learn by heart, including these 10 offenses. So I suggest that you learn it the way it is, because that will always add a lot of weight to the meaning and to the offenses. So it's only 10 of them are there. You can always learn and do that. So they mostly ask these things. The Tilak mantra, Guru Maharaj Pranam mantra, its meaning, Prabhupada's Guru mantra and its meaning, Samsara Dava, all those things in Narsimha Arati, Tulsi Arati, these things they generally ask, because this is the most basic things they ask. You should know, and this is what required for the first initiation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, there's one question in the chat by Anumataji. She wants you to explain the pranam mantra of Guru Maharaj.
You should all know the pranam mantra by heart. It says, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaurakata Dhama Jaya Nagara Grama Tarane. So this pranam mantra, if you're going to take initiation against Guru Maharaj, under Guru Maharaj, you should know them. The first, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine. This stanza means that I offer my humble, respectful obeisances unto His divine grace, is Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter under his lotus feet. This is what means for the first 4 lines. The next four lines, Nama Acharya Padaya, Nitai Kripa Pradayani, Gaura Katha Dhama, Daya Nagara Grama Taraya. It means I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is dedicated to serving the wishes, instructions, and lotus feet of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and all the previous Acharyas. He is clearly distributing the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and distributing the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, instructions, and transcendental abode. He is preaching Krishna consciousness to all the inhabitants, both in villages and towns, thus freeing them from conditioned material life. This is what it means for the second four lines. So you should know this much. This is what is asked, generally asked with meanings, because this is what we should know as his disciples. If you want, I can put this in the WhatsApp group also for you to learn. You should know also the Goswami's names. You should be able to identify the Goswamis. There are 6 Goswamis in the photo, and you should know who is who. From the left side to the right side. If you go, Srila Sanatana Goswami is the first. The next is Srila Rupa Goswami. The third is Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. The fourth is Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. The fifth is Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. And the last is Srila Jiva Goswami. So this is how you must identify the ask. This is what you must say. If you want, I can put all of this in the WhatsApp chat if you're interested. If you let me know, I'll put them in the chat so that in the WhatsApp group, so that you can learn. It may help you learning.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhuji, you can put
Yeah.
it in the group. Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do that right away.
Yeah,
And,
thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question anybody wants to ask?
Prabhuji, will they ask about the Goswamis little more, like how they have contributed?
No, that will not be asked. We can discuss that, but that is not asked because that is for the advanced devotees that is required. Otherwise, it is not required. Each and every Goswami was associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first two Goswamis, Sri Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, were having very high post in Hussein, the king who was there during that time. They were in finance ministers, and they were very rich. They were as rich because it was told that they had a boat full of gold. That much of rich they had. Even then, they gave up everything, and they came back and joined the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement for Krishna consciousness, and they lived with him till they left this body. So we are all called Rupanaga because we are followers of Rupa Goswami. He is considered to be the foremost among all the Goswamis. Any other question?
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think there's a question by Sridevi Mataji asking whether you can share this PPT.
Share
The PPT.
I can do that. I shared it in the WhatsApp group. I'll also share the Pranam Mantra of Guru Maharaj. You want me to share the Pranam Mantra of Srila Prabhupada also?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anybody? There are no questions. We can end the call. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpaturuprescha kripa sindhu chayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibandham. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, thank you very much. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Pranam,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so
Prabhuji, can
much,
you tell me
Prabhuji.
the Shad Goswami's order, Prabhuji, once again?
Yeah, the first from the left is Srila Sanatana Goswami. The next is Srila Rupa Goswami. The third is Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. The fourth is Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. The fifth is Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. There are two Raghunaths. One is Dasa Goswami, one is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. The third is Dasa Goswami. Fourth is Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Fifth is Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. The last is Srila Jiva Goswami. I'll put it on the WhatsApp group also, but this is how the order is from left to right.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we'll end the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.